All right, I think we're ready. All right. Well, thank the art gods that it is Friday once again. Welcome, boys, girls, and everyone in between. We are a studio created by artists for artists, and in our stream/sketch sessions, we talk about anything that comes to mind while creating human art. I am Eso, and with me, as always, is the co-creator and motivator, Miss Lily.
Hey guys, welcome back to another stream.
Woo! So what are we doing tonight? Let's see. So tonight I will be drawing Wolverine and Miss Laufey or Laufey. I believe it's Laufey.
I think it's Laufey.
Laufey? You're probably right. It's Laufey. And you will be sketching something from a movie you recently saw, which was Obsession, correct?
hmm Yes.
Perfect. And we'll be pretty much talking about the controversies that surround all of them and more. But before we do that, let's get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way. If you are watching the stream, join us in chat. It lets YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram know that you are here and counted. If you're a first time watcher on Twitch, hit that follow button. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get a notification next time we go live. And now that we are now on Instagram, feel free to throw the studio a follow so you can get the promotional images, extra artwork, and any other crazy video that runs across my head at any point in time. If you check over to chat, you will see links to Miss Lily's social media sites, both on Instagram and TikTok. You can find her at Lily Lilac Draws, all one word. And then there will be a secondary link where that leads you to the studio's link spree, where you can find links to all the socials, where you can catch more clips, you can catch some behind the scenes, and you can donate to the studio if you feel so inclined. We got somebody new in chat over at YouTube. How's it going today? Let's see. How do I P4D487. I wish I had your real name, man, but thank you regardless. We enjoy that you're here, and we hope you enjoy yourself while you watch us draw and talk about everything under the sun. So let me go ahead and switch the scenes over to our sketch scenes, our sketches. So we can go ahead and get started on that. Um, I'm starting off with some 3D figures that I created over the week because I wanted to create a comics accurate height Wolverine. and so check this out. I was doing research on the whole thing, right? And I was trying to figure out how tall LaFay was in the God of War series. And apparently she's like 6'3", man. And Wolverine comes in at a whopping 5'3". She's literally a whole foot taller than this guy. So yeah, this is gonna be fun to draw. And then what are you gonna be drawing today? What are you gonna be tackling?
I'm just gonna be drawing a few um movie shots, shots from the movie
Mm-hmm.
that I liked in Junji Ito's style. A few people have already drawn the main female lead,
Mm-hmm.
Nikki, as like in the style kind of as like Tomie,
Mm-hmm.
Junji Ito's very famous character. But I kind of want to do a little bit more and actually do a few of the shots from the movie that I really loved in that style.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I mean, since we're talking about the movie, do you want to start off with your review of it? I know you've seen it recently. I've been anxious to see it, but I haven't had the chance yet. So, give us your take. How did you like it? What was it like?
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and keep it spoiler free just because it's relatively new, and I mean, it's not really too much of a spoiler just because you kind of already get that the premise that it's like a wish gone bad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, be careful what you wish for type of thing. Um, but yeah, this movie is directed by Curry Baker, directed, written, and edited by Curry Baker, all of those things, which is an amazing task. He's only 26 years old.
I know he's such
Um,
a baby.
yeah, amazing. And he
Yeah.
originated from YouTube. He was making, I haven't seen any of his work on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think he primarily does like comedy shorts.
Yeah, he normally does comedy skits. I've been following him and his comedic partner for a while through Instagram and TikTok. I never really followed them on YouTube. But I know them definitely from their shorts that they put up. And they are funny as hell. And to see them tackle a horror drama like this is interesting.
Well, it's not really too surprising. You kind of see it with Jordan Peele. He went that direction as well.
Mhm.
A lot of people say that people who understand comedy understand horror. Just because there's such a, it's like a thin line that divides those two topics. Like
Mhm.
something that could be really funny could easily just get really terrifying really quickly.
That's true.
Um,
The absurdity of it
so,
all.
and then also like something that's horrific could also be like, this is just so horrific that you can't help but think it's kind of funny. Why is this happening? Like, this is absurd, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
It easily flip-flops across that line. And you kind of see it in this movie. I saw an interview with him talking about his type of horror.
Mhm.
He really just likes capturing like the uncanny valley,
Yeah.
that type of thing, instead of just straight up jump scares and stuff like that, which is really, really good to see in horror.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I think, like, I hate jump scares. I
Mhm.
know that that's
Same.
kind of a trope that happens in horror, and sometimes it happens. Sometimes stuff just pops out of nowhere.
Mhm.
And yeah, that counts as a scare. But a lot of recent horror of the past few years have just been like, that's it, just jump scares. And that's so tiring. There's no um substance to it. It's just like, gosh. And I think that's why a lot of people don't really like horror movies, just because of that. But
Yeah.
thi-
Yeah.
this is one this is one I really want to recommend, um just because of how he captures the horror. The scenes are shot really well. The color grading is something you don't normally see. I think it's just because it is a horror movie, so it makes you feel like kind of sick, kind of unwell. It gives you that
Mhm.
idea that something is off, which is something I implore people who who are going to start watching movies or start consuming media, is just pay attention to those sorts of things that these directors are trying to capture.
Mhm.
Because that in itself is an art form, and Curry Baker really, he just does so many good things with this movie. The writing's really good. Um, it really, like, a lot of people on the internet have kind of been fighting with each other. Like, a lot of uh
About what?
guys will be like, "Oh, I definitely don't want to be in a relationship ever again," like this kind of, or I don't know if it's predominantly male audience who's experiencing this, where it kind of, because the movie can trigger memories or emotions of people who have had like an over reliant, what's the word? An over dependent relationship.
Mhm.
Like, I'm
Yeah, the
pretty sure
clingy
some
type.
people, yeah,
Yeah.
like, and this isn't just like normal, like, oh, cute clingy, but
Oh,
like
no,
people
not
who
not in the
didn't,
slightest.
like people who are very, as you're growing up, when you're going into relationships, like even in friendships too, like
Mhm.
this doesn't even have to count as a romantic relationship, but for this movie it is. um but you sometimes go into a relationship with someone and they could be over anxiously attached to you, or you are doing it to them, or both of you are doing that, so you become over dependent on each other. Um, and that becomes toxic, on how
Mhm.
you depend on each other and how you guys just pine for each other's affection or attention. And so you kind of just get angry at each other because you're not getting that attention. And this movie can spur up those types of emotions for sure.
Ooh.
But the thing that people, and I think mainly a lot of the audience has been saying men are coming out of the movie,
Mhm.
seeing and seeing this movie and coming out and taking the part where, oh man, I don't want to be in a relationship like that ever again, or no, I don't want to date. I'd rather be single. It's like, okay, yes, you can feel that, but you're also not supposed to take that as the main takeaway. The
Yeah.
main takeaway is this guy makes a wish, like a cursed wish, that takes away the agency of um the person that he likes.
Mhm.
And shenanigans ensue. And that's the whole thing that you're supposed to take away from the movie is that premise, like that,
Yeah. I keep
you
hearing
know.
that a lot of people keep misjudging the movie as the girlfriend being the bad guy whenever really it's the guy who's the bad guy of the movie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because solely because, his wish is what was wrong the whole time. Like if he
Right.
had just made a different, obviously if he had made a different wish, the movie wouldn't have existed. But
Mhm.
because he made that wish, and if you see like interviews and stuff like that, you'll know that the wish is cursed because we already kind of grew up knowing the rules. Like
Yeah.
they kind of hint at it in the movie in one of the scenes, but like
Mhm.
they call back to Aladdin, where the genie is telling Aladdin there are three things you can't do with wishes. And
Mhm.
one of them is you can't wish for someone to fall in love with you,
Yeah.
which, that's why it's a cool little Easter egg that kind of tells you, oh yeah, this wish is cursed from the
Yeah.
get-go. Like you
Like in
can't do
chat
this.
P4D says that it's like a monkey paw situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but even specifically with this wish, because it's like in this universe where wishes can be made on this cute little vintage item and they just come true, you don't really even know if the wishes that other people make come with a price,
Mhm.
um and that's the cool thing about this movie is it implies that the wishes do work with other people, but you don't really ever see something bad happen to those people with their wishes. At least you don't, because the movie isn't focused on that alone, you know?
Mhm.
But you don't
Yeah.
really get that feeling that, oh, these people made wishes and now they're paying for it. No, you kind of get the feeling that these people made wishes, not cursed ones, and they're benefiting from it because they didn't make cursed wishes. So it's not really like a monkey's paw type deal. But it kind of, the premise of the movie kind of jumps off of that movie trope because that's a very popular movie trope, storytelling trope.
I see. Okay. But it's kind of like, is it more of a slow simmer throughout the, movie? Like, slow scares?
Um, no,
Oh, so it's less
no,
of a
it's not.
psychological
It's
horror, but it, like,
it's
kind of hits
no,
you in the
it's not
face.
psychological horror at all.
Okay.
Like it's very oh my gosh. The scares in this movie are so good. I and um I'm into the look of spooky things. Like
Mhm.
I'm all to goth in my art style. Not really in my art style, but in my dressing style and the stuff that I buy. Like I like stuff with coffins and bats and little
Yeah.
ghosties on it, right?
Yeah.
I don't like horror movies because of how scary they get. But lately, I've been wanting to watch more movies,
Mhm.
and the way I've used to consume horror movies before is in
Yeah.
my room. I'll just put it on my phone, and it'll be brightly lit in my room, and I will be drawing. Like, I won't be focusing on the movie
Ah,
itself.
so it makes
So
it a
I
little easier.
so I can hide
Yeah.
from the scares. But lately I've just been like, I want to watch horror movies in the theater because
Mhm.
it's a completely different experience, and seeing it on the big screen where you can't look away is
Mhm.
just, and then the sound is just thumping in your ears, and you can feel the atmosphere all around you. Like,
Yeah.
it definitely helps to watch a horror movie in film
Yeah,
in
man.
in the theaters.
I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of recent horror movies have really been egging me to go check them out because it seems as if we're starting to hit a new genre of horror where it's kind of attacking I don't know whether or not to call it suspenseful horror or kind of like a archetypal, like I don't know, like hitting on deep fears within humanity. And I ain't gonna lie, those kind of horrors really pique my interest. I'm like you. I'm not big into like the jump scares, and I'm not big into the gore horror. I want something that's gonna like sit in my brain after I'm done watching and just make me think. you know?
This
Yeah,
will do
yeah,
that.
exactly.
Like, I highly recommend it. Um, my gosh. Like, I wanna go see it again. Um, I can't wait, but I heard that it's doing so well that they're extending the theatrical release, and they're pushing
Mhm.
back the digital release, which makes me kinda sad because I wanna see it in the comfort of my home now that I know
Right.
what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
But oh my gosh, like, the way that they filmed this movie is so good. I
Oh,
can't.
yeah, this thing is taking off from what I've seen as far as its box
Oh, yeah.
numbers off it or box
I
office numbers. It's been
Yeah, I wrote
awesome.
some stuff down.
Mhm.
It was filmed on a budget of $780,000, which is really
Dirt cheap.
budget. Yeah,
Yeah.
really budget movie. Like, that's
Mhm.
crazy budget. And he filmed it only in under a month. I've heard in some
Damn, that's
places
fast.
they filmed it in 20 days, which is
Uh-huh.
crazy. Um, Either way, that's an insane timeline to be working on. Um, on May 25th, I think this was 2 weeks into its release.
Mhm.
It was reported to have made $79.7 million worldwide, which
Oh, that
is,
is awesome.
yeah, which is a
Way to
crazy
go,
leap
man.
from how much they spent on the movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
hell, they're making roughly around 100, oh, close to $100 million in profit. That's amazing, especially
I'm
for a
pretty
horror
sure.
movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they will hit it off from there
Mhm.
now. Um, but yeah, I think another one of the headlines that was going on for this movie was, it did something that a horror movie has never done before, which was gathered more box office earnings, at an extremely alarming rate also on its
Mhm.
second weekend than its debut weekend. So usually
Wow.
it doesn't go up,
Yeah, it
especially
usually
for a horror
tapers
movie,
off. Mhm.
and especially for a horror movie that debuts not in Halloween.
Yeah.
Like, this is before summer, like a weird time point of the year.
Yeah.
This doesn't really happen for horror movies, so it's really um word of mouth that's
Yeah.
helping this movie garner so much attention. And I think it's also just, a lot of people are attributing its success to, what's this current generation? Is it
Gen Z?
Gen Z?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ones that are teenagers right now, or young adults.
I think Gen Z is, like, in their early 20s, if I'm not
Yeah, okay. So
mistaken?
it's Gen Z.
Mhm.
They're really attributing, because he is a Gen Zer, I
Oh,
think,
yeah, for
because he's
sure.
26 years old. So
Yeah.
I think people who grew up with him on YouTube are
Mhm.
really wanting to give him the success that he needs, and he definitely earned it.
Oh,
Such a good
dude.
job.
Yeah,
Such a good film.
I would call this like a summer sleeper hit for the most part because it's coming like at the front end of it. And I mean, this is what, like the second movie coming from a Gen Z director that is doing really good in theaters, both being horrors, by the way. The other one I'm thinking about is what is it? Backrooms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't
That
wait to watch that too.
yeah, I've been hearing that that one has been really good and that's been getting really good word of mouth as well. And dude, like it's a good time to be a horror fan. That's for damn sure. So you highly recommend it, huh? I need to see
Yep,
this. I
go
need to
watch it.
see it.
Go, everyone, go watch it. If you're not into horror, it's okay. You can bring a blanket and hide. That's what I do. Like I watched last year. I watched, what was it called? Bring Her Back.
Mhm.
That one's also directed by a couple of brothers who were on YouTube.
Yeah.
They did Talk to Me First, which was very, successful as well. And I
Mhm.
I recommend their second film, Bring Her Back. Would I watch it again? No, I would not watch that movie again. Cause there's this one scene where the kid did something with a knife, and I hated it so much. Like
Oh,
I hid my eyes behind my hands the whole
yeah.
time, and I think I was literally like screaming. I was like, "No, no!"
I
And
think I know exactly what scene you're talking about because I kept
and
hearing about it,
oh my god. The sound effects were so good for the whole like
which made it
it was
worse.
yeah, it did. It made it so much worse, but in a good way because it's it's very real and I
Oh
hate it.
god.
Which is what, it was funny because I was watching this movie.
Mhm.
And there's this one, I'm not gonna tell you what the scene is completely, but the girl at one point she's like, "Go back to sleep, honey." And he's wanting to at first he's not wanting to go, he's wanting to get up from bed.
Yeah.
But then after she says that, like, "Just go back to sleep, honey," he lies back down and then everyone in the theater's like laughing because it's like,
Oh
"No.
god.
Fuck no, I wouldn't do that." Like, fuck you. It's so funny.
So creepy, man.
So good. What a
Yeah,
good movie.
I'm gonna make it a point to check this one out. I've been wanting to check Obsession out as well as Backrooms, and I'm probably just gonna have to wait until it hits streaming because of just the way my life is. But Jesus, I want to see it. Although it would be easier for me to watch it from home. That's for damn sure.
Yeah,
Because
well,
I'm big baby
yeah,
whenever it comes to horror.
there's no tell of when it's gonna come
I
out
know with the way
digitally
that it's
because they pushed
performing.
it back. That's
Mhm.
crazy.
I
Which
hear
is
that
a good problem to have. I think that's an
exactly.
amazing problem to have.
Yeah. I hear that most movies get a contract within theaters for like 42 weeks technically. Or I'm sorry, not 42 weeks. That'd be way too long.
That's
42
a lot of
days.
that's a
It
lot
would
of
be
months.
42 days, which is a little over a month. I wonder if it stays in theater for as long without going to digital. You know, because that's about the average time for most movies. And is this considered an indie horror film, you think, or was
Yeah,
this
they're
pushed by
considering it. Yeah, they're so the thing, because it has the Blumhouse name on it,
yeah.
and Focus something, I can't remember the other studio. But,
Mhm.
I think before it got the Blumhouse name on it, it was already finished filming. Um,
Oh.
yeah,
So
and then
Blumhouse just bought
Blumhouse
out the
came in. Yeah,
mhm.
and so I think it's definite because I think once it hits Blumhouse, right? Because Blumhouse is known for doing budget films anyway.
Mhm.
Um, but I think he's garnered so much attention for that alone that I wouldn't consider it indie anymore. I don't know. What is the definition of indie? Because to me, I think indie is like low budget,
Y
independent. Indie is short for independent, so
yeah.
it's an independent film.
Well,
So
I mean, I
Curry
think
Barker filmed it on his own, and then
Yeah,
Blumhouse picked it
and then
up. So
sold
I
it.
think, yeah, so I think once it hits Blumhouse, I don't think it's indie independent
Right,
anymore. Cause
right.
you get what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
don't think,
I get what you're
even
saying.
if it's a budget production studio
Mhm.
like Blumhouse, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents, but it's definitely being counted as a indie production,
Yeah,
and it is. So,
on, chat and YouTube, they say that, it's independently created and or distributed, is indie, so it's technically, like, kind of half and half since Blumhouse picked it up. But, I mean, Blumhouse is just a distributor, so, I mean, I would still consider it indie for sure. And so
yeah.
I'm happy these guys were able to A, get the recognition that they deserve. I mean, they're about to hit Jordan Peele level of transitioning over from comedy to horror, you know? And God only knows like how many more projects they're going to get offered after this, but I just got through seeing that they released another short skit not too long ago. So these guys are not resting.
Well, he said he's already working on another film, a
Oh,
couple of other
really?
films, or he has something at least brewing in the background. So he's not going down. Like, he's not a one and done. Like, I'm good. I did it. I think his passion is making films, which is, why he did it for as long as he did. I don't know how long on YouTube. And now he's finally getting to do it on the big screen.
That's awesome, man. I mean, all the more power for him for realizing that dream. And I just hope it keeps going from here. All right. Well, I'm gonna try to catch that as soon as I possibly can. Do you want to um go on to the next topic? It looks like you and I both have a topic that overlaps. Do you want to go to that one?
You can start because I'm trying to draw
No
because I was
problem.
not drawing the whole
So,
time.
the over this past week, we just got through having, well, what is it? The PlayStation event where they were showing off their games that are going to be coming out within the year to 2 years, and they have released gameplay footage as well as a trailer for God of War, Laufey. Um, and essentially what it is, it's that this is a spin-off from the original God of War franchise, specifically from the God of War in 2028 or 2018, and then God of War Ragnarok. Um, and it serves as kind of like I guess a tonal reboot while existing parallel with the game because the stories intertwine with themselves. Yeah, yeah, Mark's right. The event was called the State of Play. Um yeah, so the this new game takes place congruent to the events of the 2018 God of War game. And you're pretty much following, I'll call her Faye for short, but you're following Faye in the afterlife as she encounters gods from various regions of the world, and essentially she is trying to fight her way through and back, it seems. I wonder if she's going to be able to fight her way out of the afterlife. That'd be really interesting, and I guess it greatly depends on how well the game does. But Deborah Ann Woll is reprising her role as Faye, that because she played Faye in the 2018 game. So she's serving as the model and voiceover for the character. If anybody doesn't know who Deborah Ann Woll is, man, she is Karen Page on the Daredevil series. She was she had an ongoing role in True Blood. Man, what else has she been in? Those are the first two that really stick out in my head. Although she's had like campaigns of D&D that she's hosted and has been filled a la, like Critical Role. So she is just a nerd through and through. and we love her for it. Um, of course, with the release of the footage, there's always going to be controversy that surrounds it. You have a number of accounts that came out of Twitter and all over social media that were either praising or hating on the game. Some of the things that you would end up reading would be things like, let's see, the detractors would say things like, Sony did it again. You can thank the consultants. Um, let's see here. And I guess by consultants they're referring to Sweet Baby Inc. Do you remember that whole controversy that was happening back then and that
No.
consulting firm? No?
Mm-mm.
Essentially, there was just a shit ton of gamers that were blaming Sweet Baby Inc. for what they considered to be woke in gaming. Whenever, as a consultant, they worked on a number of different games that those same gamers didn't consider woke. So I guess they just became a a uh, punching horse for any disgruntled gamers out there. Let's see here. It says that many other X users responded to the thread of images of female game characters alongside their in real life actors, seeming to claim that AAA game developers allegedly design character models to intentionally look less conventionally attractive than their actors, which is such a weird goddamn trend. Because how are you gonna take a still shot of an actor, right? Like let's say Deborah Ann Roll, right? And how are you gonna take a photo shoot shot where they're done up and they're prettied and everything, and compare it to a still frame from a video game and her face contorting to whatever action she's pulling off in this game, because in this game, man, she's doing some crazy acrobatics and fights with a sword, and it looked like she was like uh uh, controlling some sort of magic in order to fight these gods as well. So, obviously, if you're having to compare those two things, something's already wrong in your head. Um, you had somebody else comment online saying things like, well, aren't you excited to play as an old hag alongside her heckin' awesome Chungus cube? I guess referring to some sort of millennial humor. Um, which I don't know. What have you been hearing about all these um chuds online that are attacking this game?
Um, just basically that she's not hot and
Oh
that
god.
they're mad that they're playing as so they're mad that they're playing as a woman in a
Mhm.
game that is predominantly led by a male lead. I've read an article where they said they didn't want Kratos to show up in it, which is kind of funny,
Mhm.
um, given how much impact Faye made in Kratos's game.
Yeah,
Like there's
exactly.
so many flashbacks, and she's shown to be. I mean, spoilers, but not really, because it's been like what over 5 years,
Mhm.
well over almost a decade since the first God of War and the trilogy released.
Mhm.
I don't know how long ago that game came out. Um, but it's shown that she's the one who's leading them the whole time. Like
Yeah.
she's the one who showed them where to go. Um, she made such an impact, and it's his wife, and Kratos is her husband. Why would you not want to see Kratos in this game? Like, why is it weird that a wife gets to want to like is shown portraying feelings for like missing her husband? Like, why is that? Like, and someone
Yeah.
in that article made a point in the comments by saying like a lot of male-led games are shown to have heterosis men who lead it who
Mhm.
want or already have a female partner.
Yeah.
But a game who has a female lead as the protagonist is shown to have no interest, little to no interest, um, in having a partner.
Mm-hmm.
Examples are Aloy and Lara Croft, or they're shown as gay, which is example Ellie in
Yeah.
Last of Us and Max Caulfield in I forgot the game. It's the one where she tells the future and stuff like that, or sees the future.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's pointing that games are really aimed towards a male audience. Like even if it's a female-led protagonist, like
Yeah.
it's weird if they are pining for in Faye's case their husband or wanting to see their husband or wanting a husband. Like why is that we why can't like that's um which is funny
Mm-hmm.
that uh gaming studios are thinking this way, like, oh, we gotta appease the male audience, when predominantly or over half of the gaming audience is female. So
True.
I
Yeah.
don't know. That was a weird one, but it's
Yeah.
mostly people are just mad that they're playing as not Kratos in his game.
I mean, shit, man. We've had the original Greek trilogy with Kratos, and now we have two Norse games with Kratos. I don't. I welcome the change. Not
I
only
think
that.
it's cool that they're sorry, just to
Hmm.
add that
No, go ahead.
this particular part of the God of War games is so I mean the first part I never played those that trilogy.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure delves into the story. They're story-driven games, right? But
Yeah, of
this
course. Yeah.
last half has so many different parts to the story,
Hmm.
so many different characters. Why would you not want to delve into their storylines? Like
Yeah,
it's such a rich world that they created.
and I think it's gonna add context, more context to the
Mhm.
first two Norse mythology games, and it's also introducing new gods. I believe they say that there is an Egyptian and a Tibetan deity or gods that are going to be in this game. So, whereas originally we started off with Greek gods, then we branched off into Norse gods, but now we're going to start branching off into other mythologies, and I fucking love that. I want more of that. And if this is the vehicle we're going to have to drive in to get there, let's fucking do it. Um, but I'm also the kind of gamer where a lot of the times if I have a choice of picking an avatar in a game, I normally pick a woman, because
Interesting.
well, I always pick women avatars because they're just more fun to look at. I'm gonna be a complete gooner in this, and I understand, but
Well, that's what I'm saying is
yeah,
interesting because a lot of the men that I know in gaming, they
uh-huh,
do pick the
the female
the
avatars,
female characters.
yeah,
Yes. So it's crazy that
I,
these many men are mad. I think they're just mad they don't get to play as Kratos again.
yeah,
And
Mark's right. The
which is
clothing
which
options
is
are
so
better.
weird. Which
Yeah,
is so
I
weird.
I just think that, every time a new AAA game comes out, and if it doesn't resemble gameplay and characters from the early 2000s era, they're going to be mad, And God forbid they include different genders or try to reach, the second half of the audience that actually plays video games. And I think you're always going to have that audience. Uh, it, yeah, hey man, it all came out of Gamergate, right? Like it's just these guys have been around and complaining for a long time now, and it's about good. It's about a time we start ignoring them because they're not adding anything beneficial to the discourse. They're not even. I mean, a good majority of the time, they don't address the graphics, they don't address the gameplay, they don't address the story. They're just like woman bad, and they go on from there. And I'm at a point where I just don't give two flying fucks anymore. Um, uh, I just I think it's badass. I'd much rather get more context into the God of War universe. And it's not like this character's coming out of left field since we've seen her in the 2018 game. So, Like I've seen some people where they try to put some predictions on where the game's going to be, where the story's going to be going, and they're talking about how cool it would be if Faye ends up meeting Kratos's first wife, and there's like some sort of tag team between the two. So
But
yeah,
is
man.
his first wife a god?
No, no, his first wife and child was actually just regular humans. He was just a regular Spartan warrior in the original Greek trilogy. And what pretty much started his story was that he was a Spartan warrior who worshipped the god of war, and the god of war tricked him into killing his wife and child, and then coated his skin in their ashes, which is why his skin is so white in the first three trilogies, and which is why he goes after the God of War in the game series, how he becomes the God of War, essentially. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, in the Norse trilogy, I guess we should call it, that we're getting now, it's kind of like he started a new life with Faye, and then ended up having their son, and then Faye ends up dying. So that's where people want to see the team up. It'd be
Yeah, but
interesting to
that's
see
what
the
I was
two lives.
saying.
Yeah.
It would be interesting, but I think the game is implying that, I mean, there's not to say she could go into the normal underworld, but I think it's
Hmm.
implying that she's in the underworld, or the place where gods go when they
Oh, I see.
pass,
I see.
you know?
Well, she
But
is she is a Jotun, right? She's a frost giant technically. So wouldn't that make her kind of a demigod of some sort?
didn't they just say that? I'm not sure. Didn't
I don't
they
know.
say that the giants were gods? I'm not sure.
I mean, you're
I didn't
probably
I
right.
only watched a playthrough of it, but,
Yeah, yeah, I've only
you know.
seen the playthrough so far, but it looks badass. I'm ready for it. I have been slowly playing through the Norse God of War games. I'm barely getting into the second game. Because it's just a long game to play. And plus, in the PlayStation Store, they've been having these things where I can stream play them, so that's been the fun part of it. Um, but yeah, man, like I think at this point, you can't help but to ignore um, all the detractors out there. What really sucks is that the director of the first two God of War games, I believe his name is David Jeff. Um, he's going online talking about how dull and uninspired this new game looks. Um, and he says that it looks like shit. He's liking it to Square Enix's 2023 RPG Forspoken, um, which is odd because I always hear good things about Forspoken. The only issue that I always hear anybody say about it is that it's short. So I don't know, but it seems as if this Dave Jeff guy he's a real firecracker online. He's always shitting on something, it seems. So that's kind of par of the course for him. Let's see. Mark says that the place Faye is in is called the Everywin. I see. So is this like a central hub for gods? Because she seems to be meeting a lot of them. But either way, I mean, like I said, if it takes us into some new mythologies, dude, this is gonna be nuts. Like, take me into Egyptian mythology. I want to see what happens there. They had some crazy ass gods back then. Oh, it's one for all gods from across mythologies. That's cool as hell, man. Oh yeah, that just makes me more hyped for the game. I, I don't get why people are complaining about it. Other than, again, like I said, online woman bad stuff, all that good shit. These guys, I just think those guys need to go outside, touch grass, have a conversation with their mom, hug their sister. I don't know, man. but for the love of God, do better, man. Don't be such a pain in the ass. All right. So, do you want to go after yeah, yeah, pretty much just talk to a woman. Do you want to tackle one of your topics next, Lily?
You can go. I saw your list is kind of long,
Oh
so
god, I got so many things. There were so many things I ended up finding over the week. Let's stay within the video game world. So during oh yeah, yeah, 47 on YouTube saying that Forspoken was a poorly designed game, but the first three God of War games were also often power fantasies, so the philosophy is different. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Let's see here. So okay, here's one. During the state of play, they also revealed the new Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis game that's going to be coming out soon. Um, but unfortunately, they're using Gen AI in the development of the game, and Amazon is completely fine with that. Um, in a deflating bit of news, it appears that the Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis is the latest game to embrace generative AI in its development process. Crystal Dynamics and Amazon Games added the following disclosure to the game's Steam page. AI assisted tools are used during the development to support some early exploration and temporary development content. Any AI assisted assets were either replaced or refined by humans in order to maintain the creative and artistic vision of the development team. Um, you know what? Let's just look at that there. So, Amazon and Crystal Dynamics openly admitting that they're using Gen AI in the early development, and then having artists come behind it and fine tune it or make changes to it. I think we've kind of gone over this before, but um, they're pretty much opening windows to let more flies into the house, right? What do you think, Lily? Oh, and hey, Doc Ock, how's it going, man? See you in chat. Thanks for joining us. So, what do you think about them using Gen AI and the early development process?
well, you already know how I feel about that.
Yeah,
I
I
think
know.
it's I think I guess I could keep saying it just so people keep getting it in their head.
Just in case the back of the room can't hear.
The the ramifications for using generative AI are so great that the ends don't justify the means.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, we get cool video game from it. Yeah, we get cool images. Yeah, we get cool this, that, the other. But it's at the price of our current living situation on planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
The water is turning brown. Um, the planet is overheating because of how fucking hot the data centers get. I mean, it was already overheating, but it's now getting worse because of it.
It's not getting any better,
Ener-
that's for damn sure.
it's not getting better. It eats so much energy. It eats so much money.
Hmm.
Why are we using it in creative spaces where humans have proved to already make perfect art
Yeah.
on their own? Like, we've proven time and time again as humanity that we can just make art
Hmm.
without help. Like,
Yeah.
why if you have, and I have, and this is speaking as someone who has trouble making like good concepts for art designs or pieces and this, that, the other. Like, I have so much to learn, but that's the key
Hmm.
word, you learn. Like, you learn it yourself. There's so much people that have grown up and learned to hone their art, to hone their ability. We're shortcutting that process. Like, why are we doing that? We
Yeah.
should be
Like,
shortcutting the processes where it counts. Like, if we're going to use AI in this modern age, I'm not
hmm,
discounting that we shouldn't use it. We can use it, but it should be used in more meaningful ways. Not to make video games, not to cut the creative process. It should be used to help
yeah. It's like,
find new medical grounds and you know, something useful, like
Yeah,
something
yeah.
that humans can't do on their own. Like,
So, something
come on,
that can surpass human knowledge as opposed to just replicating things we do already.
we already do this just fine. Why do we need
Mhm.
help? Like,
The part that pisses me off, A, it's already pissing me off that they're using Gen AI in the process at all, right? Yeah, I think I've said this a million times. Like there could be a time and a place for AI within the creative process where it can help shorthand the later process, or it can give like a leg up here and there. What bothers me even more so about what I'm reading about this is that the AI was used in the development process. In other words, they're using AI to help them, whether it's develop scenery, whether it's develop character design, whether it is to develop environmental assets, right? And all the AI is doing is that it's pulling from pre-existing properties and pre-existing ideas, and it's starting to feel like the snake eating its own tail at this point. If they're using Gen AI so early in the process, the artistic voice that goes into our video games or any other media for that matter just becomes a rehash of everything else. You know what I mean? Like if you absolutely have to, right? Like if you've got no goddamn choice but to use Gen AI, for the love of God, use it later on in the process, not whenever you're supposed to be using human creativity to develop a game, a movie, a manga, a comic book, anything, right? Don't why so early? Why so early in the goddamn process? Um,
in what process are you
mhm.
suggesting it be used, though?
I would say
When
like
you say like,
let me think. So what if this is off the top of the dome, right? So what if we were to use AI for let's say an artist comes along and creates a composition and wants to find the best lighting within the composition, right? And AI can come along and find you or create for you a good light source based on your drawing. That's not too bad, you know? Okay, fine. Like it finds me shadows, it finds me, better contrasts. Let's say, just as another example, let's say if we use AI, let's say an artist creates a composition, whether that be through 3D modeling or through a drawing, and the AI can find various camera angles at which to shoot, and it gives the artist a configuration that the artist can then take and continue to draw, right? In these kind of instances, right, I can understand where it's like technology can come in and enhance a artist's ability to um, um, improve their artwork, right? And these are very small areas, right? Where I'm not talking about, AI completely finishing a product for you. If anything, it's just like having an AI assistant, right? That if we absolutely have to have AI on the board, okay. But if you're going to have AI come in and create complete composites for you in the early development phase, that is usually where human creativity is supposed to reign king, because we're the ones trying to come up with the concepts. We're the one that hammers out all the fine details. You fucked it, right? We're already at a bad point. We're letting in too many flies into the house for the sake of opening the window. It's asinine to me, and it's so disappointing. It's like I said, it feels like what was that theory that we were talking about a couple of streams ago, where we were saying that um, um, AI is going to become so prolific at some point that originality is essentially just going to be constantly rehashing itself, and everything's going to become super dull. Um, I kind of see this as the step towards that. But of course, just like 487 says on on YouTube, they say that companies will always try to find shortcuts to save money, but AI and artistic pursuit is misguided because people buy art for essentially cultural connection. Yeah, yeah, you hit it right, the nail on the head, man. Um, I think it's one of those things where um in my honest opinion, I think since this is an Amazon led initiative, Amazon's been pushing AI hard. Whether it was for that, what was that, the punk duck with Jorge Jimenez, or not Jimenez, Gutierrez, where AI was pushing that I'm sorry, Amazon was pushing that AI animation initiative or funding that by the way, he ended up dropping out of, for anybody that don't know about this, he dropped out of that fund because he got too much backlash. Um, but yeah, it seems as if Amazon's just like gung ho in this, and maybe it's because they invested way too much money into AI that they have to justify it some form or another. Yeah, yeah, it really rustles my jimmies thinking about this. It seems as if the general manager of Amazon Games, whose name is Jeff Gaddis, told Polygon why the company has been embracing generative AI. And he says, "We've been pretty bullish on Gen AI, and I know that's a very controversial topic, but not so much Gen AI in terms of how we make games, but games that can be made on large language models that could not have been made 3 to 5 years ago. We think there's opportunities to make interesting new types of games made by humans, but games that couldn't have been made 3 to 5 years ago." What is he even saying here? I don't understand it. Is he trying to say that through Gen AI we're going to be creating new types of games that somehow we were not able to think up of? Or is he simply saying that, oh, now we can create games faster, and that's the whole point of this. It's a goddamn product. We're trying to get it out as fast as possible. Fuck the artists. Which is what I'm pretty much reading here, coming from Amazon. Um yeah, this is hugely disappointing, because I mean I've been playing Tomb Raider since the PS1 days. Whenever she had polygon boobs and all. Um, and the idea, especially now that we're going to be having a new movie coming out for Tomb Raider soon. Um, yeah, yeah. 487 on YouTube says you could possibly use AI for things like smarter NPC behavior. Yes, I've seen that utilized in games before. What was it? I think Epic Games with Fortnite have been utilizing AI, so that way there's NPCs in their battle royale, which gives newer players a little bit of a challenge, but also the hopes of actually winning a game. You know what I mean? Like there are spaces where you could utilize this technology that doesn't undercut artistic integrity. You know, but yeah, man, they just kind of, I don't know. This is soured the new Tomb Raider game for me. I'm not gonna be picking it up. Amazon Games and unfortunately Crystal Dynamics. God damn it, they were such a good studio at one time or another. Yeah, yeah. This pretty much ruins it. Ruins the studio for me. And Amazon has just been skating on thin ice for a long ass time now. Let's see, but to stick within the gaming realm, did you see any of the trailer and gameplay for the new Wolverine game that's going to be coming out from Insomniac?
No, I
No?
did not.
Oh man. Oh, it looks so good. So it's by the same studio that created the Spider-Man games. I don't think you played any of those, right?
No,
Man,
I didn't.
Though they were really good games. They reminded me a lot of like the Batman Arkham series. I was a huge fan of those too. And it looks as if this game is going to be not only playing into the brutality of Wolverine, but also playing into like the stealth that he can implement as well. And I am so hyped for this game. The I did hear a number of rumblings around the internet where some people were claiming that it was a little bit too bloody, which is just weird to me. I mean, I grew up in a time of Mortal Kombat. There's no such thing as too much blood. Um, but then it's like some people were complaining that it was too bloody, and then some people were complaining that the blood went away on his clothing too quickly. So, I don't think it's the internet. You're never gonna make everybody happy. Um, but the gameplay looked really cool. It showed some of the hack and slash of the game as well as some of the stealth that was coming out of the game. And they revealed a couple of characters as well. So like they showed Jean Grey and Sabretooth. And apparently this game takes place before the formation of the X-Men. And they're technically in a universe that don't know that these mutants exist, which is interesting because this is supposed to be taking place in the same universe as the Spider-Man games. So apparently in that universe, they're conscious of Spider-Man and Venom, but not of Wolverine or the rest of the X-Men. Mark says Wolverine too bloody. The guy who has a comic where he gets his where he gets ripped in half by the Hulk. Exactly, dude. And which I have that comic, by the way. That's Ultimate Wolverine, and that's a good ass goddamn comic. I think in that comic they kind of proved that Wolverine can survive in a vacuum with just a head. But yes, fucking the Hulk has ripped him in half. I think at one point the Hulk swallowed him and Old Man Logan, and he had to burst out of the Hulk's stomach. Like, dude, come on. Like, what the shit, man? I don't know. I don't know. I think the internet has gotten to the point where people just complain for the sake of getting their name out there. Um, but I'm hyped for this game. I was hyped for the Spider-Man games. They were extremely good, and I suspect this is going to be very much the same. Um, let's see here. Do we have any more gaming news? Let me take a look. Ba, 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 ba. No, I think that's all the gaming news we have. Um, I guess let's make our way over to let's see what if I had skipped anything. Um I guess let's go ahead and get into any kind of 47 on YouTube says saying Wolverine is too bloody is like saying water is too wet. Exactly. I think these are people that have no idea, and they've never read any of the comics. They're only familiar with the movies, and they've only seen they think that Hugh Jackman is like the best Wolverine ever. Which I'm one of the few where it's like, yes, I like Hugh Jackman. I like him a lot. He embodied Wolverine well, but I need me somebody that not a pretty boy, right? Wolverine's supposed to be a brawler. He's supposed to be dingy. He's supposed to be a grumpy little dude. All right, and I need him to be like just somebody who works in the background, right? I need him to be a secondary character who yeah, exactly. He needs to be a short king. He needs to be a secondary character that does all the shit that none of the rest of the X-Men want to do, right? And he does it well. He's the wet works guy. He's the guy that everyone's kind of afraid of because they can't quite put their finger on him. That's who I need as a Wolverine. I don't need a leading man as Wolverine. I need a background guy that everyone is slightly afraid of. Also, he has knives coming out of his knuckles. Somebody's gonna bleed. Yes, his mutant power is knives. I mean, come on, it's his mutant power is stabbing people. What I mean, it's technically the healing factor, but same difference. Oh man, yeah. I need I think, like I said, I think these are just people that have only experienced Wolverine in the movies. So they haven't gotten like the full view of what Wolverine is. Like I was even seeing things like, oh well, Wolverine can't be stealthy. The hell are you talking about? Yes, he can. He was a goddamn spy for the longest. Like, what do you mean he can't be stealthy? Ugh. Like I said, people that have never read the comics, man, they're just they're just completely oblivious. Um, let's see here. Would be interesting to go over EOs constantly. Can you imagine him being trying to be stealthy and all you hear is this growl coming from Wolverine? I mean, technically, he doesn't need to be stealthy, right? Because he could just stab whoever the hell's in his way, but still. Oh, man. Let's see. Let's see. I guess in the realm of comic books, since we're talking Wolverine here, um, I thought it was interesting, and this is probably just a me thing. Honestly, there's an art book that's going to be coming out of DC, in Clover Press called the DC Art of Michael Turner. Which, if you've ever seen Michael Turner's Wolverine, he made Wolverine look badass as a short king, and he always had this habit of making Wolverine arms look fucking his forearms look fucking massive. And the reason he said he would make his forearms look massive because he said you had to hide those three claws in there somehow, But they're going to be releasing a 9 by 12 deluxe hardcover of Turner's artwork that he did for DC. And I was a gigantic Michael Turner fan back in the early 2000s, and well, technically late 90s, early 2000s, up until his death, somewhere around, I believe, close to 2010, or in the 2010s. But I was really excited for that because I love collecting art books, especially of my favorite artists. So I believe that should be coming out soon, and I'm keeping my eyes peeled for that. The You know what? Here's something that I came across this past week, and it was actually something that was happening the week prior, and I didn't know about it. And I'm pretty sure you were never exposed to it, Lily, but did you hear anything at all about the DC blackout boycott that was happening? So this was a boycott against DC Comics, pretty much the publishing company of Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman. Um and it was led by the Black Comics Alliance, where they were asking DC to launch 1 to 3 titles in their mainline continuity with strong creative teams to give um, the best chance to Black characters within the universe. They were also asking to properly promote these series with the same kind of methods that they used with their other popular characters. And then they were asking to give these titles immunity from cancellation for about 18 to 24 issues, which is essentially around 2 years in total, in order to give the series a fighting chance. Because what they were saying was that um, there had been no good ongoing series of Black DC characters for far too long, and this was the demand that they had. Um, they had this boycott going for a while. I believe that recently, the I think recently the boycott ended, and that they were going to keep it. They were going to keep going or the organizers were going to keep the another movement going called DC So White campaign against DC. But essentially, they ended up stopping the boycott because it was drawing bad publicity online. And of course, you had your usual actors, right? Like the people that say that, oh, it's not about the race of the character, it's about the story of the character, so on and so forth. If you don't, they don't, people complain about race swapping, things like, hey, instead of race swapping, create a new character. Pretty much all the same, BS that we always hear every time any kind of representation comes to comic books. Um, I only recently heard about the boycott because it was making its rounds on the internet. Um, I thought it was pretty interesting. This idea of they were kind of calling like the introduction of black characters within DC kind of like a high and buy. Like they would bring these characters in really quickly and then they would get canceled just as fast. And a lot of the times the editors would say something along the lines of, well, the story is just not selling. So they would usually give these series like a short run, and if they didn't have a big explosion within the comic book world, they would essentially cancel the series as quick as possible. Um, I can understand from an economic standpoint why publishing comics is extremely expensive. Although it could be argued with a company like DC, they should be able to have some wiggle room to allow a series to breathe. But yeah, I didn't hear about this boycott until late this week, and apparently this was going on all last week as well. Um, I don't know. As far as representation in comics, obviously we need more of it in any which way form. Um, and I, I mean, I have to agree. DC doesn't have a lot of um black and minority representation within their lineup, or at least not any ongoing. Um, I mean, I guess there's, what is it, like Black Lightning and Static Shock? Oddly enough, 2 electric-based heroes, electricity-based heroes. I don't know what that's about, who knows? But yeah, I thought that boycott was really interesting, and, it was I I mean, if anything, it was bringing awareness to, a lack of representation, and I can't argue with that. Um,
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, how do you normally feel about let's say if they were to take a character like Wolverine and make him Native American instead of Canadian?
I don't really, cause is it? I don't know. That's kind of hmm.
I mean, I know you don't
Cause it
pay
doesn't.
attention to Western
Cause it
comics much,
doesn't
so
really matter what, unless it's imperative to their storyline. Why? Not why, but like if it plays into their storyline and like the troubles that they face and stuff like that,
mhm.
that they are a certain ethnicity or race.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's like why yeah, I think you're right. Like there's a shit ton of characters out there where it's like their race doesn't really play into who they are. And a lot of the times, if you change their race, sometimes it can add some interesting complexity to the character itself, right? Like I always hear, for instance, I always hear things like, "Oh, what they should do with the new X Men is make Professor X and Magneto black," right? And it's like, all right, like I don't hate the idea. I kind of like the idea where, I mean, the X-Men, you're already talking about a discriminated race of Homo superior, right? And there's in at least in America, there's no more discriminated race than black people, right? So it's like it'd be interesting to see a character like Professor X fighting for um cohabitation, and then you would have his opposite Magneto, fighting for no, fuck these guys. Like we are we are who we are and we shouldn't compromise for being who we are. Like I think that would add complexity to the characters. It would add layers to it. Same thing with something like a Native American Wolverine, right? Does Wolverine need to be, you know, I think they Wolverine's Canadian, but I think let's see, Howlett. Let's see, his real name is James Howlett. I believe Howlett's probably were originally English colonialists. Um, it would be really cool to I don't think that is a big aspect of Wolverine's life because of, Wolverine's father was a groundskeeper, right? And Wolverine was is technically the bastard child of the groundskeeper and the lady of the house, right? So how cool would it be if Wolverine's father was native, making him native, which make him more of an outcast in his origin story, and then it kind of tie in to the overarching characteristics of Wolverine, right? That'd be cool as hell to make him Native American. I'd be fucking down for that. Um, yeah, there it's 487 that there says that I feel like race matters to an extent though. Storm should I think always be black because that's who she is. Gambit's Louisiana heritage is also important. Yeah, there's some characters where it's like, yes, their heritage plays a gigantic role with them. And you don't want to, you don't want to play around with that too much. Like you said, like with Storm, she at some point becomes is considered a goddess with in Africa. How marries the Black Panther at some point. You have Gambit who has deep heritage in Creole and French American heritage. Of course, why would you want to change that? But I remember whenever Kiki Palmer wanted to try her hand at Rogue, which outside of coming from the South, that's the only thing really important about Rogue. So why couldn't you make her black? Why couldn't you make her Southern black? She could still have an accent. That wouldn't be a problem at all. And then imagine the power couple her and Gambit would end up making. Like you can play around with different ethnicities and roles that are traditionally Eurocentric, right? And you can really add interesting layers to that character. Um, and I think that the fact that so many people raise such gigantic stink about it is usually coming out of, they're just hardcore traditionalists and, don't change my guy that I've known to be this way for, 30 plus years. Or, it's coming from even a worse place. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. Play around with it. Have fun, right? Include more representation. All representation is going to do within the comic industry is that it's going to create more comic book enjoyers and lovers, and from different parts, from all demographics. And comic books need that, right? Like, I don't see no downside to it. Um, but just to transition from comic books over to the Eastern side of the media, let's see here. You know what? Let's go over this one because I thought this was really interesting. It turns out that the Japanese government is getting real sick and tired of piracy. Did you hear about this one at all, Lily?
Only when you pointed it out.
Mm.
So no, not really. But
So,
I'm not surprised.
you're right. All right. So, anybody that has been an anime fan for a while, um, more than likely you were introduced to it either through um, broadcast television, like Toonami or Adult Swim, um, or you were introduced to it like the rest of us through broken up YouTube videos or from LimeWire, right? I think piracy has been a part of the anime community from its inception, and only because getting anime back in the day was extremely freaking hard. I know I couldn't get my hands on it very easily back then. Like I had to borrow DVDs from friends, and they paid out the nose just to get their hands on those. Um, so yeah, pirating has been a part of most Western anime fans' repertoire, right? Their tools that they would use to watch it, and I'm pretty sure a good majority of us, till this day, still know a number of websites that they go to in order to watch their favorite seasonal anime. And it turns out that the Japanese government does not like this. So I came across this article that said government says 5.7 trillion yen of Japanese media is pirated last year and thinks AI could help. They say with Japanese media growing in popularity around the world, the Japanese government's Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry is also growing more concerned about the effects of media piracy overseas. For its study, the ministry conducted surveys in 6 foreign countries, including the United States and China, regarding content piracy. Content here being the loose term used for entertainment media, including anime and digital manga. Based on the results of the surveys, the ministry estimates that 5.7 trillion yen, which is about $37 billion US, worth of Japanese content was pirated overseas in 2025, roughly 3 times the amount estimated from 2022, the previous iteration of the ministry study. For the 2025 investigation, the ministry also added a new category estimating the amount of pirated character goods, so we're talking merchandise here, that were sold online outside of Japan, such as knockoff and unlicensed figures, posters, plushies, and the like. For this category, the ministry arrived to an estimated 4.7 trillion yen, bringing its total figure for pirated content and knockoff merch to 10.4 trillion yen. However, one of the ideas being floated by the researchers is to promote the use of AI in production to lower costs and secure profits. In addition to sidestepping the root causes of piracy, which would include like insufficient legal enforcement or local availability, the reliance on lower costs also ignores that a major reason Japanese content, particularly anime, has become so popular around the world is that many foreign fans see it as having a mix of high quality and unique narratives, neither of which are things that AI is good at reproducing. Um, so yeah, it seems as if Japan is noticing that they're losing a shit ton of money, not only with media content like manga and anime, but also knockoff merchandise. Something that you and I have talked about a million and one times. Um, I don't know what's your initial take with this.
Wait, so what is the AI gonna do?
So what they're thinking is that they want to utilize AI to lower the cost of creating anime. Essentially, what I'm assuming is using AI either in the writing or artistic process.
Well, I don't like that.
Right.
So it does suck though, because they do lose a lot of profit from all the bootlegging that happens,
Mhm.
not just in pirating the, because I skimmed over the article that you shared.
Mhm.
Um it's not just the bootlegging of the anime, it's the merchandise that gets bootlegged.
Yeah, everything that's unlicensed.
Yeah. So I get it. That sucks because that doesn't really benefit the studios that help make the
Mhm.
animes. Um
I just think
so yeah.
it's so weird how like Japan sees this problem, right? And one of the first options that they run to is, well, we just need to make the production of said media cheaper, right? Instead of like saying, well, we need to find better avenues of not only marketing but distribution, right? And I don't understand why degrading anime costs at the expense of their artists and writers seems like a better option than saying like, "Hey, maybe we just need to find better ways of distributing this. Maybe we need to give out, licensing fees a little bit easier. Maybe we need to open contracts with broadcasters. Maybe we need to, not allow anime to be put behind paywalls. Maybe we need to, lower the costs of Blu-rays. Maybe we need to like there's all these other avenues that they can go down, because I think ultimately if a anime fan or a manga fan has better access to these things and cheaper access to these things, most of the time fans want to pay for these goods, right? I mean, they pay for the knockoffs of them. Why wouldn't they want to pay the studios directly? Um And I don't know, this is kind of like an ass backwards way of trying to solve the problem. You know what I mean? It makes me wonder like it really makes me wonder like what's the roadblock there? Like why is it that the first thought is reducing the cost of production before increasing um what am I trying to say here? Increasing their reach. It may cost them a little bit more to get their properties into different markets or different different ways to distribute their media to make it more locally accessible to Western audiences. But in the long run, they would essentially make more money by doing so and make more global partnerships, like kind of like the way man who recently started a partnership with the way Mappa Studio has done with Netflix, right? Like there's ways of doing this, and this just seems like such a I don't know, this seems like kind of a backstab to the creators that you would look towards AI to cheapen the process, even though, like, I mean, I think a lot of people would argue that it's already. I mean, they already pay most of their people like shit, right? So it's like, oh, let's just make it worse for these creators. I would think that over time this would or this carelessness towards the anime and the manga industry. I mean, it's gonna start. I would think that it would kill the industry over time. If you can't make a decent living off of being a mangaka or an anime studio's animator, like pretty soon they're gonna start going elsewhere, right? And like if they can go to a different market that's gonna pay them better, why the hell wouldn't they? I don't know. I don't know. This all seems extremely bad. Um, it it, it kind of seems bad on both ends, right? It's extremely bad that all this pirating is happening. Um, but it's also extremely bad how the Japanese government, well, says, well, we know how to fix this. We'll just implement AI into the creative process to make it cheaper. Get rid of those pesky animators. What do they do anyway? Right? AI can do it. Fuck, man. Like that's I think not too long ago we ended up posting up a clip on our Instagram page where I was showcasing all this quote unquote AI generated anime. Um and yeah, it doesn't look terrible, but at the same time, right? You're just kind of like there's no originality behind any of it. You know, it all looks pretty generic. So I don't know. This feels like another instance of the snake kind of eating its tail again. Ah, God. I mean, what do you think would be a good solution um, for these anime studios and manga studios? Where do you think they should go if they're noticing, significant decline in their revenue because of pirating?
I don't know. Not
Mm.
sure. It's a loaded question. I
True,
think
true.
I think that I think if we were to somehow, because a lot of the profit is being lost because I want to say fan artists play into it too. Like
Mhm.
they create their own merchandise and it's more affordable and easily accessible. So
Yeah.
people will lean in to buy that. So it would be good if the original studios somehow managed to get in touch with those people and say, "Hey, we really like your work. Let's work together,"
Mhm.
and kind of find a way that they both profit from it. That way it just, because we talked about, copyright and these studios coming after fan artists right now
Yeah.
for making their works and sending them cease and desist. Instead of doing that, they could just work with them,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
find a way to like, hey, you're making this um, merchandises off of our properties.
Mhm.
We don't think it's right that you make all the money from it because that's our property, that's our IP. But we
Mhm.
don't want to stop you from doing, from making the property, like from making the fan art because we understand you really like doing it. So let's work together where you can make fan art, um, but we also get to profit from our IP respectfully.
Yeah.
Um, I think it this has existed for so long, and with the connectivity that we have now in our current society with the internet and stuff like that, uh, there's probably an easy way to do it.
Mhm.
Obviously, there's a lot of legwork that they have to do on their own.
Mhm.
Um, they have to go find these people and contact them, or um, like we had mentioned before, maybe they could make it easier for those uh, content creators to contact the studios first. Like the studios don't have to find them,
Yeah.
but the artists can find them first and say, "Hey, I don't want to get flagged or sent a cease and desist.
Mhm.
I do like making merchandise for your IP. Let's work together. Let
Yeah.
me send a thing." So I think that's one way that they could do it, just because that's what's really the problem, I think.
Mhm.
Um, and then just shutting down bootleg companies who make the really cheap, really awful merchandise. Like the Timu uh brand shit that's
Oh,
really
yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Like they just need to go after these sweatshops that make really poorly um made figures and stuff like that just for
Yeah.
cheap. Like
Mhm.
there's a whole, what is it? A whole system that goes into that though. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't even just affect the anime community. It affects all um
Anybody with an IP, really.
like fashion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just because, they they can see money falling from the
Mhm.
sky, but they don't own that. So let's just make a bootleg of it.
Yeah.
Something that's relatively close to it, but it's not it.
A tale
Um
as old as time.
yeah. So I think
Yeah.
them going after those companies could really, like, they have a case. Like it
Mhm.
affects the entire economic ecosystem of Japan basically. They could just go after those companies
Mhm.
and like sue them. Like why are you punishing just unassuming, you know, these regular working people who
Yeah.
just want to watch anime. Like, why are you gonna punish them by downgrading your anime?
Right.
Um,
Right.
because we're gonna be able to tell, like, generative AI is getting pretty good, but you
Mm-hmm.
can still kind of tell that it's shit. Like,
Yeah.
if you just
Yeah.
look at it hard enough.
Not
Um,
only that, it would start to erase the more creative properties that we see come out, right? Like the visually creative, like the Dandarans or the Mob Psycho 100s, or the try and think of anime that really pushed the limits of aesthetic. There was one, dang it, it's not coming to mind right now. But
everything that Studio Trigger makes.
yeah, yeah, pretty much anything that Studio Trigger makes, um, everything that Madhouse makes, everything that you would really start to lose these creative expressions with an anime if you're just having AI uh composite it for you constantly, because if anyone's ever seen these AI videos, they look like your everyday run of the mill, uh little um mobile game based on an anime property, right? Like those gotcha games, that look where the characters look so generic. It kind of gives that vibe off, and then imagine an entire industry kind of just constantly replicating this. Like maybe the stories would be interesting, but my God, with the aesthetic and the animation suffer so much. And yeah, yeah, that I I really hate that this is something that the Japanese government would even consider. Like, don't get me wrong, like that's a lot of money they're losing out on, and I feel I feel bad for them, and I say that as somebody who has actively participated in in catching anime in a way that's a little bit left of completely legal. And I don't know. Okay, okay. Whenever we stop and think about this, let's stop and think. Let's do like a little mental experiment here. Yeah, yeah. 487 said it right. Like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Pirating is wrong. Keeps pirating. It's one of those things. Like, let's do a mental experiment here, right? What would keep us, yeah, let's say regular folks like us, right? What would keep me from pirating an anime? And probably the quickest way to keep me from pirating an anime is allowing me to watch it through some of your average streaming services, um that and a service that's more condensed, um instead of me needing like a Crunchyroll and a High Dive and a Netflix and an Amazon Prime and like paywalling these anime through so many different streaming services greatly diminishes my ability to A, pay for all the streaming services, but B, trying to remember which anime is on what streaming service, right? Like it needs to be ultimately condensed. And if it was all condensed, all right, I'd be able to pay a little bit more. I'd be willing to pay a subscription based service where all these properties can be on, and hey, if I have to receive the anime a little bit late, or if they can do simulcasts, then awesome. But it's like, I mean, for me, that's like the biggest barrier of entry a good majority of the time. I mean, what's your take, Lily? Like, what would keep you from pirating?
Well, I think they're already making a streaming service that combines everything. I think it's coming. I think it's already out. They're just trying to compile a proper library. I just
Yeah.
can't remember what it's called, but it's completely legal. Um, at the moment, I think it's free. I don't remember, but
Wait, which service are you talking about again?
I I just said I don't know. Like
Oh,
I don't
okay.
remember the title of it, but I think they're making a streaming service that's legal, but it compiles all of those, you know, a lot of the anime library into it.
Really?
Which which yeah, that would definitely I think help out the fan base,
Oh,
you
for
know,
sure.
if you could just pay one subscription
Yeah.
and have no hassle of finding what you want to look for. Because
Mhm.
that's really the problem, is that these animes are all licensed to be distributed with different
Yeah.
streaming services, so it's kind of hard
Yeah. Yeah,
to
that I think
find
that's
them.
my main issue with anime is just the barrier of entry to be able to catch the anime that you actually want to see is extremely thick and high. You know, it's like you better hope that you have the subscription to the right streaming service. You better hope that it's even on that streaming service. Like there's yeah, the issue of not having a central hub to watch a good majority of these really sucks. Like I think I've missed a lot of anime that I wanted to see because of that, you know? And a lot of anime fall through the cracks because, it's behind some sort of odd paywall. So I think that would be uh problem number one to solve. um, as far as manga goes, I don't pirate manga. So I don't really know. I think manga is pretty accessible. I don't know too many places that I can't go where I can't find a section of manga at. You know what I mean? I don't know. What do you think? Do you think manga is hard to find?
No,
Yeah, me neither.
not
But then we
not
live in a
these
city,
days.
so it's a little bit different for somebody who's out in.
I mean, you can even just buy it online right now, so it's
Yeah, you can buy
not
it
hard to.
through their official chains if you want to, and they're about the same price if you buy it from a retail store. It's not like the Blu-rays. The Blu-rays are ridiculously expensive compared to a streaming service. So, like, I don't think manga is much of an issue. Um, Merchandise, damn man, that's a tough one because there really is not that much merchandise out there that isn't created by some sort of third party at this point, right? Like, I mean, that's pretty much all you and I mostly know is third party distributors. I mean, do you think as far as merchandising goes, everything from figures to posters and beyond, do you think that manga and anime production companies just aren't doing enough?
Yeah, they're not.
Mm,
They're definitely not. And I think maybe that's because they see that someone else is already making it, so why bother? But I'm
uh,
not entirely sure why.
you think this is
Just
maybe a moment of
because.
neglect coming from them?
What do you mean?
Like maybe if they see that these things are out there, you know, they would much rather go after the producers of these things as opposed to try to find a way to distribute the material themselves. I'm talking merchandise, really, just, everything from figures to body pillows, you know what I mean?
Um, I think it's a mixture of both. I'm not
Mhm.
sure. Um, it's kind of hard to gauge
Yeah. Yeah, I
just
get you.
because people have been creating fan artists have been creating merchandise for so long. So I don't
Yeah.
know why. I think they definitely don't know what could be profitable. That's why they didn't start making merchandise for the because the reason why cartoons exist at all is to just market toys.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with anime, I mean, they tried marketing toys for anime. Um,
Yeah,
I
kinda,
don't
I guess.
like for the American audience, they kind of did, and in Japan, I'm pretty sure they did.
It's so weird because, like, whenever I think about it, especially in the early days of anime coming to the West, the only like merchandise that I ever saw that came out of Japan, if you were lucky enough to get your hands on it, were like maybe a figurine here and there, um, and maybe a T-shirt I would see come out of Japan every now and again. And then it seems as if that never got any better. You know what I mean? Like there's no the thing that I find odd is that whenever you are becoming as global as a lot of these manga and anime studios are becoming, um, or at least the amount of people that enjoy the content, right? A lot of the times, these companies will start spreading or branching out to other countries to set up distribution warehouses and or manufacturers, right? In order to be able to distribute the merchandise a little bit easier, to make like local hubs to get this merchandise out to people in a easier fashion. But you don't see that in the anime manga industry. Like, I don't know when was the last time I laid my eyes on official merchandise outside of specialty shops. You know what I mean? And a lot of times these specialty shops have to do extreme markups because it was extremely hard for them to get their hands on the merchandise. So it's like, why is Japan, it just baffles me that these Japanese companies would be like, no, we don't want to branch out. No, we don't want to go more global. Instead, let's just make the production cheaper. Like, dude, the reason why you have this global reach right now is because of the unique content that anime and manga is. And you're gonna try to change that first before changing your marketing, um or change. No, it's not the marketing that's the issue. Changing your business plan, right? It's almost as if they would much rather change the product than change their business plan, and that's why it's baffling the shit out of me. I think that's why it's rubbing me the wrong way. They would much rather change the creative process than change their business plan, and I don't get it. It doesn't make a lick of sense to me. You have a global market that there's obvious money in because they've calculated how much money they're losing. And they can't sit there and say, "Okay, let's change our business plan here. Let's get our reach. Let's make our reach a little bit more global." Instead, they're like, "Nope, nope. What we need to do is just make the anime creation process cheaper." That's that's so asinine. Where is the smart business decision there? Like, it am I taking it feels like I'm taking crazy pills. I don't know. What I mean, am I taking crazy pills here, Lily? Am I just yelling at clouds? Do I just not get it?
I mean, I just don't think they get a grasp of what's profitable, like what's doable.
That's crazy, man.
They never really like back when anime was being first introduced to the Americas,
Mhm.
um, which of course it has been before my time.
Right.
I know that, but when it was becoming more accessible to the Americas, because in my time, I had to bootleg it off of YouTube. So,
Mhm.
and I was a kid. I don't know if there, and the internet was still relatively new.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like you can't
Mhm.
just go to the store and like I don't even remember if Blockbuster had anime like
They did,
it
but
on the shelves.
they mostly ever had the
Like a select
movies.
few. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they didn't know how accepting the American market would be
Mhm.
to
I mean,
the
they gotta
whole
see it now,
library that
right?
they have.
Yeah.
They didn't, and then when it started gaining traction, it they didn't see what type of merchandise they could really pull from because they only ever thought, okay, it's a cartoon, so
Mhm.
basically we can only do toys, right? Well, no, now they're seeing that you can pretty much make any type of merchandise. Like a lot of clothes would
Mhm.
be are being made from these animes or themed anyway. Like
Yeah.
and those sell really well. Um, they still don't do it. I think in part to them seeing other companies doing it already. Um, I don't know if they have some kind of. I mean, I think they have licensing agreements with those.
Mhm.
So it's kind of a mixture.
Yeah.
Um, I I just think they don't really have a good grasp of what they should be doing.
Yeah.
Um, I think any any company that thinks with money is try to go the cheapest route, and they see that AI is the way to go because they
Mhm.
can see that it potentially could make things production easier and cheaper i- in that process.
Mhm.
But it feels like they're seeing all of the headlines and what other companies are doing, um, that they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot just because of how staunchly against AI our generation is becoming.
Mhm.
Like, a lot of our generation does not like that idea. So
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
why? And I think they're doing it the Nintendo way, where they're just like, oh, well, you guys are still gonna watch it.
Ah,
Um,
damn it.
like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter how we do it or what we do, or how we do it, you know.
Yeah.
You're still gonna watch it. Um, so therefore we're proving their point.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know. People are kind of surprising. So maybe they'll stick to their guns and be like, "No, this is actually shit," which I think might that's what might come out of it. It's actual shit and no
Mhm.
one wants to watch it. Like bring back actual production of anime. Stop
Yeah.
relying on AI to do it. I don't know. The future will only tell, really.
Yeah. It's so odd. It's so odd how yeah, it just seems like a it seems like such a small you know how in business that sometimes you'll hear some people say, "Well, you're missing the bigger picture." And it feels like that's what these companies are doing. That they're just missing the bigger picture. And I don't know why they're either missing the bigger picture because they're so used to working locally that the idea of a global market is extremely foreign and feels like it's not worth getting into. Or I don't know. I- Well, the thing that here's the thing that worries me, right? If you know anything or if you've read anything on Japanese politics lately, um, their politics have become extremely protectionist lately, right? Every you always hear the horror stories that are coming out of the tourist industry within Japan to the point where they're doing things like blocking tourists off of really well known landmarks and popular tourist destinations, things like that. Um, and so they've implemented different methods of keeping tourists either away from these areas, and sometimes it'll hurt the tourism within communities that greatly depend on it for the sake of, like I said, protectionism, right? Trying to um, either protect the culture or protect, mostly just protect culture, protect, nature and landmarks, right? Um, and a lot of times it feels as if it's like, sh- you know, um, cutting your nose off in spite of your face, right? Like, as far as a business decision, it hurts the economy. Um, and this kind of feels like the same kind of weird, um, the same kind of weird move, right? Where like you're kind of, like I said, cutting your nose off in spite of your face, right? You see this issue, and instead of, thinking forward and saying, okay, we need to embrace this global market, instead it's like, well, no, we need to localize harder. You know what I mean? It's just like, the hell are you guys doing? I don't know. I don't know. It makes no sense to me, man. And I don't know. Obviously, since I'm a fan of the medium and I'm a fan of artists that come out of it, I hope for the best. But Jesus Christ, are they not making it easy for themselves? Especially after recognizing how much money they're actually losing, um, and how much money they're just kind of leaving on the table. In all honesty, it baffles the ever living shit out of me.
Mm.
Um, but to go on from the subject, and sticking within the realm of Japan, it looks as if we've had a Japanese voice actor arrested recently for having bad relations with a 15-year-old that they met at a child protection center. Um,
Mm.
yeah, that's an extremely shitty thing to read. But to give you more context, see, this was reported by TV Asahi. Somebody by the name of Kazuki Atsumi is a 31-year-old Japanese voice actor, has been arrested for suspicion of raping a minor. Um, the report comes a week after Atsumi's agency, um, Mausu Promotions, announced it would be terminating him due to a grave breach of contract and delete any mention of the voice actor on its homepage. Atsumi is being investigated on the suspicion of raping a 15-year-old girl in May of this year in a hotel in Tokyo, Japan. He reportedly met the victim 2 years prior while working as a staff member of a temporary child protection center or shelter she had entered. According to TBS News Dig, Atsumi had admitted to the charges as well as to committing the act about 30 times while aware that the victim was under 16, which is the legal age of consent in Japan. Apparently, this voice actor has minor roles in anime like My Dress Up Darling.
Who did they play? Does it say who they
um,
play?
so I looked it up. It wasn't a main character, and it was not any secondary characters. Apparently, this voice actor was just doing background characters and supporting roles.
Okay.
So that's good to know, right?
I mean, even still, it sucks that just a person was doing that.
That,
Like,
yeah.
regardless of what profession they're doing, or
Mm-hmm.
that's just really like,
It's just like, what the
ugh,
living fuck, man? You
very
know?
gross. And they And they did it at a place where this child was looking for help.
Mm-hmm.
That's that just makes it worse
Yeah, that's
because
extra. That's extra fucked up.
yeah, that's even like how that's what the heck? Like what are you going for the freaking terrible Olympics? Like how far can you go to that's so wrong. So awful. What
Yeah,
is wrong with
exactly.
you? Like what if
A lot. A lot is
it
wrong with
almost
them
sounds like
apparently.
they did that on purpose. Like they
Mm-hmm.
like kind of had a thing for it. Like that's just kind of how it sounds. Cuz like
Yeah, yeah,
why would you go for a child that already is in a bad situation to begin with? Like
yeah.
if not
Who's
for
a yeah.
the shock factor. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
gross. What the
Yeah, it's
heck?
exactly like Doc Ock said. They were already vulnerable, and
Yeah.
this person just made it tons worse.
It's
You
kind of
know?
like you're doing it on purpose. Like at
Yeah.
that point.
Like what the
Other than,
hell?
already going for a kid. But
Yeah. It's just it just yeah. That's absolute yikes, man. And I agree with Mark. He
Mhm.
says bury him under the gel. I was trying to see what kind of punishment he was receiving. Unfortunately, it's still too early in the investigation, so no charges or verdict has been come to yet. But as soon
That's
as I get more information on whether or not they just hit this guy with the book, or at least we hope they hit him with the book, right? Because there has been a number of cases where they do not do enough
they barely do
to these
anything.
people. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on it. I'm gonna see what happens, what they do. Um, but just to end on a much lighter note, let's see. Well, here's the last topic you have on here. That season 2 of Gachi Okuta is officially in production at Studio Bones. Huh? Huh?
Yeah.
That's a high note, right?
Pretty cool. Despite everything that she
Mm-hmm.
has gone through, her her property has gotten popular enough to get a second season, which is what she wanted,
Yeah.
you know. Um it sucks that she went through hell even through just half of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I hope she's doing okay mentally, but I hope
Yeah.
this comes as good news to her. Stay off the internet. People suck. You're doing
Yeah.
great, girl.
The internet's a
Keep going.
rough place, all right? Coming from two people who make the internet our business for the most part. It's rough out here, folks. And yeah, I hope she's taking her care of herself mentally after everything that's been going down. Cuz yeah, if anyone's been going through the ringer this year in the anime manga world, it would be her. That's for damn sure. Um But we are about 15 minutes past the hour. Do you want to take a look at the artwork before signing off?
Uh, yeah, sure.
All right. Let's see what you got here.
Let me
Oh, yeah.
just put this down like right there. Yeah.
Oh, man, you got those Ito eyes down, dude.
Try
That's actually,
to.
that's pretty damn good, actually.
I think it's a struggle with his artwork because
Mm
he makes really nice visceral facial expressions.
hmm. Mm hmm.
But he doesn't do it so much with the women though. If they're very attractive women, it's
Yeah.
just
He keeps
like
it minimal.
there's barely an outline of the nose
Mm hmm.
structure. The eyes are very big and expressive. The eyelashes show. Um, the lips are always drawn pronounced. It's so hard because she's making this giant facial expression right here. Um, the shading, I think I got down pretty well. Um, the hair kind of mimics the style pretty well too. It's just black with white streaks. So that
Hmm.
part's not hard. It's just the face. It's kind of hard to emulate how he draws um attractive women who are
Yeah.
making these crazy facial expressions. Like that's the
Yeah.
hard part.
I think whenever it comes to Ito, one of the things that I noticed that he really tries to accentuate in his drawings is the eyes. For some
Mhm.
reason, the detail that this man will put into um, a character's eyes and how they feel in any particular moment, I think it's like the cherry on top of the cake of everything else that he's creating. Like he's really good at kind of like expressing those subtle facial expressions that kind of give off this sometimes this otherworldly, horrible, most of the time existential look to these
Dread.
characters. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
It's all in his shading,
Mhm.
really. Cuz sometimes they're if you remove the shading, they're just making a regular face. Like
Yeah.
if it weren't for the shading, it would just look like a regular face. Like they're just stoic. But with
Mhm.
the shading, it kind of adds that dread that they're feeling.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was you did pretty good at capturing that. I like it.
Thank you.
So, I tried to go with an accurate height Wolverine, and I tried to
Mhm.
bulk him up a little bit, but I think I'm gonna have to make him a little bit more bulky because his head looks too big. But I'm gonna keep hammering away at mine.
I think it's hard because he kind of looks like a kid in
Yeah,
comparison to
I mean he's supposed to
Laufey.
be, and you know here's the thing. This is what I think. Now that I'm this far into the drawing, I think that the head is too big. When the head is too big, it makes the figure look younger, you know?
Yeah.
So, I think what I need to do is add more bulk to his torso and his legs. And that should minimize the amount of, I guess that should minimize the youthful look that he has right now. Obviously, I haven't included any of the I haven't included any of the facial features that'll age him a bit. But yeah, as far as like proportion speaking right now, I need to bulk my boy up. Like I
I
think like
think
as far as like, you know, as far as body proportions, I think, as far as like the length of his arms and the length of his legs, that makes sense. But I need to add some weight to him. I need to make him
I
feel
think
like I need to make
yeah,
him feel
so I
like,
think
he's
adding weight would help. I think
mhm.
I would like to see in his stature a haunch, like a hunch, like he's about
Oh,
to like he has this um iconic like he always hunches back his arms like he's about to
yeah.
jump forward, if you
Mhm.
get what I mean. So he has a curve in his back. So I
Yeah.
think what I want to see is his right arm, his shoulder not being brought back like that, but kind of forward
Yeah, I
when
tried to
he's
give him a
drawing
little
his
bit of a stoic look because I was afraid
yeah.
that if I made him too hunchy, he would look even smaller next to
Mm.
her. But I do need to like I like your suggestion. I need to make him more, maybe a little bit more
I think if
feral.
you made him, I think if you made his shape more like a triangle, like an upside down triangle,
Mhm.
but kind of bring that into the drawing, like obviously angled a little bit, like the way he is right there,
Yeah.
but a little bit more dramatic, like his
Mhm.
shoulders just being huge and
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, I
like
see
he's
what you
about
mean.
to, like jump, like because
Yeah,
he's always looks like he's about to jump somebody. So I think,
Mark's making a good point. He says that it's more of a Captain America pose as opposed to a Wolverine one. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I need to go
which
a little bit
no,
more
I get what
feral.
you were going for, but he always
Mhm.
looks like he's just about to jump someone. Like
Yeah. He's
it's
about
just
to
a
fuck
Wolverine.
somebody up real fast like.
Yeah, like a Wolverine.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. And then I'm gonna work on the likeness of her face to Deborah Ann Wall a little bit more. I was thinking about just going with like a generic face, but I think I want it to look a little bit more like the character. So I'm gonna work
Mm.
on that some more too.
No, yeah, I think it would definitely benefit um to make it look like her, especially just because that's the face that they're gonna attach
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Laufey now that
exactly.
the game is coming out. So,
You know what? Maybe
or
I
is being
can.
announced to come out because I don't think it's coming out soon. I think they're
Yeah,
just
I think it was just announced for
announcing that
now.
it's in production. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah,
All right.
excited to see what comes out of it.
I may change the camera angle as well. You know what? I think I have
Yeah,
an
like
idea
more
of what I want to
dynamic.
do. Yeah, something where like if I have Wolverine hunch over a little bit more, have the camera in front of him with her in the background. She's gonna look like a towering figure, but she would look
Oh,
kind of
okay.
badass too.
Yeah,
You know what I
she'll
mean?
already she'll still look tall,
Yeah, she'll
but
still look tall.
you can see very clearly how big
He is.
but
Yeah,
also small Wolverine is in
exactly.
comparison to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I see what you mean. I like that
Yeah.
suggestion. I'll do that.
Yeah, yeah.
All
And that'll
right.
be a fun piece to, to practice cuz
Right?
fun dynamic poses always kind of challenge you, you know?
Yeah,
It
exactly.
I mean, you as in the proverbial you. Like all of us get challenged
Mm-hmm.
by a fun dynamic pose.
For
But
sure.
anyways, that should be it for this stream. Thanks for joining us today, you guys. You can find Eso on Eso Art Studio on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Go check him out. All his links are down below. You can find me at Lily Lilac Draws on Instagram, Threads, Tumblr, and TikTok. All my links are down below as well. If you'd like to donate, uh, not needed, but kindly appreciated, our coffee page is down below as well. It's always a pleasure to unwind with you guys at the end of the week to talk about what's inspiring us, what's angering us, what's making us laugh, or what's has been really, really cool. Please go see Obsession. We'll see you next time. Remember, stay creative.
Peace.
Bye bye.